but just that initial getting up and moving, right? Having to send power to all four wheels, there's more power loss, and so fuel economy is decreased. But yeah, I still think it's worth it. I'm glad that it has it, and I imagine that most people that drive these are probably going to have it in two-wheel drive mode most of the time. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going over a 2022 Chevy Blazer RS in a crazy color. First and foremost, so I do want to mention, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get right into the review. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 308 horsepower and then 270 pound-feet of torque. So let's go over the front end of this Blazer RS. First off, this is finished in nitro yellow metallic. Now, I wasn't so sure about this color when I saw it in pictures, and I can tell you guys right now, just looking through the lens of the camera, video doesn't pick it up either. It looks amazing in person. Like I said, you just can't capture this color on camera, but you can see the really sharp body lines here with the Blazer. That's kind of like a distinct feature of it, just to make it look a little bit sportier. And then here's a quick look at the metallic flake. So basically they've taken this like really like rich yellow and they've put gold metallic flake on top of it, and it mixed with a little bit of silver metallic flake, it looks like too, and just the finished product looks amazing in my opinion. You guys can see the LED accent lights, and then you got the projector bulb down below for the headlights. Got the RS logo here, and then you can see here with the accenting trim that goes to the Chevy bow tie, and I notice it's blacked out here at the bottom portion. And then here's kind of like another viewpoint from the other side, so you can see what the color kind of looks like with some shade on it. And there you go. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 65mm tires wrapped around 21-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then notice how the blacked out portion on the bottom of the bumper continues here into the fender flares, and then all along the side here is part of the RS package. And then yes, the wheels are also all blacked out, so it definitely has a cool sporty design, and the contrast on this is amazing. Blazer logo, and you can see the body painted mirrors. And then notice here with the roof how it's blacked out, so you've got some more contrast as well. And you got some silver trim there around the windows. And I think this is the color that Bumblebee from Transformers should have been in, because that would have looked so cool. But there's your side view. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock, lock, remote start, and then the opening here for the hatch. We'll press that twice and it'll pop right open. Now popping here to the rear. Notice we got our good old Chevy bag, which is pretty cool. Storage space underneath with the spare tire. And storage space back here is fantastic. This is similar in size to like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, if you guys are wondering for a size comparison basically. And then here's the storage space on either side right there. And then when you're all done, you just gotta press that button right there, and that'll close it back up. And there you go. Now finishing things up here with the rear, you can see just how sharp the taillights are on the Blazer. Definitely love the aesthetic there. Got our Blazer all-wheel drive badge, RS badge on the other side, and then the blacked out Chevy bow tie, and then the camera's actually just down below that. Notice it's all blacked out here at the bottom portion with the parking sensors. And then I really like the shape of the exhaust tips. Definitely creates a little bit of contrast from a shape perspective with all of the sharp lines on the Blazer. And well, here's one last look at this beautiful color. Now here's the door panel on the rear. Notice we've got all of this padding here with the red contrasted stitching. We do have heated seats here for the rear passengers. And then here are the back seats themselves, again with the padding. And notice we've got the red stitching, and then you can see it's perforated too in the center. And there's kind of like red behind the perforations, which definitely gives it a cool aesthetic. And then you got some red piping on top of that. You got seat adjustment too, which is great. But popping in, we got the sandals, no socks today. And then you can see you got seat storage. And then here's the vents, and then hopefully my camera will pick it up this time with the outlet here off to the side. Not really, but anyways, you got storage space down there. And we got our good old cup holder armrest, which is very important. Let's head to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You can see here with all of the padding and the red stitching down below. We've got all of our window controls. Notice the front driver one is automatic. And then the mirror adjustments, memory seats as well. The mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. We've got the Bose sound system here, and then you can see with the rear hatch to set that. And here's the front seat. Same design as we have in the rear with the red stitching. You've got the red there behind the perforations, and then you can see the piping here, and that's down below. Seats are power adjustable for the front. And then you can see the pedal layout down below, and then you got the parking brake here with the light control. Steering wheel is manually adjustable. And we're gonna try something new now for the channel. I usually don't show the passenger seat, but I think I should start doing that because, you know, it's important for people. So you can see the power adjustments there for the passenger seat. So here's the steering wheel for the Blazer RS. You guys can see again the padding all around the steering wheel, and then notice the red stitching right there. And we've got our controls here for the center stack, voice command controls, radio controls on the back of the steering wheel. We've got our heated steering wheel button here with our cruise control, turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock, and well, that's all for the steering wheel. So here's the center gauge clutch. You can see what I've been averaging fuel economy wise, 25.9 miles per gallon so far. But anyways, you can see all the different bits of info that I can pop through. And I guess I should say that fuel economy rating has included a lot of highway miles. We do have some different drive modes. So we've got all-wheel drive, then we have sport, then we have off-road, and then we have towing. And then you can go back to just two-wheel drive, which is front-wheel drive, because you can feel the torque steer when you're in the two-wheel drive mode with this. Now here is the whole infotainment system. First off, got auto stops right next to it, hazard lights, and then analog controls down below. But we're gonna pop it into reverse. You can see got the backup camera, which trajectory lines, they turn the steering wheel. And then you can see the different camera viewpoints here with the Blazer. I mean, covers everything from a camera perspective. Now, the thing that I think is funny about this Blazer is it has this whole 360 camera system, which I'm sure uses quite a few microchips. But then the heated seats in the rear and then the heated and cooled seats up front are credited back because they need later retrofit on this vehicle. So yeah, I don't know, I thought I'd make that point. But anyways, infotainment system, as you can see, is extremely responsive. You guys know I'm a fan of this infotainment system. Has Apple CarPlay, has Android Auto, and also there's a glove box. I love how it has a button for the glove box and then stability control right next to the glove box. Like, you're like, I want to turn off the trash control, and then you accidentally open up the glove box, or maybe you want to open up the glove box and you actually, I don't know. Anyways, there's that. So down below here we have our climate control section, and notice again with the heated and cooled seats, later retrofit, so the buttons don't do anything. So you can just press them for fun, I guess. And I love with the Blazer how they copied the Camaro, and you have the vents where this is how you change the temperature. I think that is such a cool feature, and more automakers need to do something like that. And they're circular too, so like you can really direct them. And yeah, there you go with that. Wireless phone charger, which actually works because it's in a very nice location. And then we've got the shifter here, and notice definitely nice how you get it into gear. This is for the parking sensors, lane departure, and then your drive mode / drive line select is what we'll call it. And then some more storage space. In front of the center console that has more of that red stitching. And there's the center console itself. And then notice you got padding here on that portion of the dash, and then up above as well. We already went over the glove box, so we don't need to go over that again. And here up top, we don't have a sunroof or anything, just black headliner, sunglass holder. But we have the camera mirror. Very important. So here's our window sticker for this 2022 Blazer RS. Feel free to read the standard equipment and the warranty information if you so desire. But anyways, here's optional equipment. So you can see this one has the advanced convenient package, and then driver confidence package, right? There's quite a few options on this one, and then obviously we've got the credit there again for the seats and stuff, but it says later retrofit. But you can see the total MSRP $50,585, and let's see how it drives. Well, let's quickly go over visibility before we set off, and I'll turn this down a little bit so you guys can hear me better. There's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, and throughout the rest of the rear. But let's set off. So setting off here in the Blazer, and first off, it does have cylinder deactivation. It shows you there in the gauge cluster, it says V6 or V4, whether choosing all 6 cylinders or just using 4 of them. And it'll actually illuminate in green when you are in V4 mode. And no, there's no such thing as a V4 engine technically, but going up the train tracks, suspension's surprisingly compliant, right? You don't necessarily expect this segment of SUV to have like the most cushy, comfy suspension, but the Blazer does a solid job nonetheless. Brakes are solid too. Now we're gonna show the driving dynamics here with the front wheel drive. That was just for demonstration purposes. Don't actually do that. But you can see, right, setting the power to the front wheels, you got that torque steerness, and so if you don't want to deal with that, just put it in the four-wheel drive mode, all-wheel drive mode, and it won't do that. But I am glad that this is not all-wheel drive all the time. And the reason being is that helps you get better fuel economy if you're not all-wheel drive all the time, right? If you're just sending power to the front wheels, then you can actually get better fuel economy. Now, once you're up and moving, right, there's not a huge difference between all-wheel drive and, you know, front-wheel drive, but just that initial getting up and moving, right, having to send power to all four wheels, there's more power loss, and so fuel economy is decreased. But yeah, I still think it's worth it. I'm glad that it has it, and I imagine that most people that drive these are probably going to have it in two-wheel drive mode most of the time and get better fuel economy, and then in, you know, snowy situations or muddy situations, whatever, then you have to go into four-wheel drive. Hopefully you guys can see it says V4. So right now we're just cruising on 4 cylinders. I haven't really been able to perceive a sound difference, but I will say when I'm like full throttle, it's always in V6 mode, right? So I don't really think that there's really a chance for me to tell if there's a sound difference or not, because if you're off the throttle, then it'll cut off one, you know, 2 of the cylinders basically, and so then you're not going to hear anything anyways. Is the point that I'm trying to make. But some of the V8s, when they do cylinder deactivation, you can actually like really like hear the difference. But this, it's quite enough. I am going to pop it into sport mode so that when we come back around and get another acceleration, that we can then see how it performs differently in sport mode. And the reason that sport mode is past the all-wheel drive mode is because you are in all-wheel drive in sport mode, which makes sense, right? If you're going to be doing sporty driving, you're going to want the best traction possible, and so that's kind of how they had it set up. But while we're waiting for that, let's talk about seat comfort and stuff like that. So seats are supportive. The material isn't necessarily the softest from a texture perspective, but I could tell you that these seats are very easy to clean off. The journalist that had this before me took this on a dirt trail and it's got tons of dirt all over the interior, and I was talking to the gentleman that drops the cars off, and he said that this was very easy to clean off. So like if you have kids and stuff and they're gonna make messes, that is a benefit of this interior, is that, again, easy to clean off. And we'll see how the handling is with the roundabout. Say hi to the missionaries. They'll probably wave. Are they gonna wave? Yep, there you go, he waved. He always wave. Yeah, handling's solid with the Blazer. And okay, going over these train tracks. Badunk. Yeah, pretty good. Floor it now. Yeah, so there is no steering wheel tug whatsoever when you are in the all-wheel drive mode. That's a big driving dynamic difference, and so that really makes sense to me why the all-wheel drive mode is attached to the sport mode too, because again, you don't want torque steer and stuff if you're going to be doing sporty driving, or if you want to get the best possible acceleration. But let's sum things up here with the Blazer. So first off, it's like yellow gold. It looks, even though it's called nitrous yellow, it looks gold to me. So I don't know, I'm a huge fan. Can I get back into two-wheel drive mode? No, I don't want two-wheel mode. I want two-wheel drive mode. Help me. Help me, I'm in trouble. There we go. Now we're in two-wheel drive mode. Anyways, I love the color. It's just, it gets so much attention too. Like, everyone looks at it, and so if you want attention, right, this is the color to get it. But if you don't, just get a Blazer in like black or something like that, and then yeah, you know, it'll be normal. And then from an interior perspective, like I said, this isn't necessarily like the most luxury-based interior, but I look at this from like a practicality perspective, and this interior would be very easy to clean off, especially if you're gonna be taking kids around, which I assume if you're driving a Blazer, you probably got it so that you can take kids around. I assume, sorry if my assumption's wrong. And then from a driving dynamic perspective, right, it's got a V6, it's got a decent amount of pickup, and so yeah, it's solid from that perspective. You're gonna get some torque steer in the two-wheel drive mode. In the all-wheel drive mode, it's, you know, hooks up and moves and everything. The only thing that I wish Chevy would change about the Blazer, I know that people, and I didn't really want to talk about this too much in this video. I know people always complain about the name. I really don't care. Like, it's a good SUV. Is I wish that they would offer a higher performance version of the Blazer. I don't care what engine they put in it, frankly. I think they should just offer a higher performance version, because like, you've got the Jeep Grand Cherokee that this competes against, and this really only competes against like the V6 Grand Cherokee Limited. That's what this RS competes against, from a price point perspective, and then, you know, from a powertrain perspective and everything. But they have a Grand Cherokee with a V8. They're gonna have a Grand Cherokee with the new 4xe powertrain soon. And also, that is hilarious. I guess that's how you get your kids out in the world. You just got, oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, I gotta pay attention to this review. This is very difficult right now. So yeah, I think they should just do a higher performance version to compete against the Grand Cherokee Hemi and the 4xe. Like I said, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid like the 4xe. I don't care if it's a V8. I don't care if it's a turbocharged 6-cylinder. I do not care. I just think that with how sexy this looks on the outside and how sporty this looks on the outside, there needs to be a performance version. And I know people would buy it, right? They won't buy it as much as they buy this V6 version because this is more affordable. But there would still be demand for it, and I think it would help sell more V6 Blazers, because then there would be like a halo version of the Blazer, so then people would get a Blazer because they'd be like, I want to look like that cool, you know, performance version of the Blazer, if that makes sense, right? And so what they could do is they can make the performance version of the Blazer look like the RS, very close to it, except it'll have its own, you know, style cues. And then, you know, people then go and purchase a bunch more RSs so they can look like they have the performance version. And they just call it the Blazer SS, right? That's within Chevy's name. Throw a 6.2 V8 in this Chevy, that'd be cool. But if it's not a 6.2 V8, right, I just something. I know they're doing an electric Blazer, but like, we need more gas-powered engines still, okay? Okay? But there you go. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2022 Chevy Blazer RS. And again, like I said, if you wanna save time, money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. I'll see you guys.